It's making me do all this stuff. Bear with me, folks. We're about to draw. Whoever dropped in. Oh, stop it. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. Okay. No one here yet. That's fine. All right, let's draw. Okay, where's my pencil? Okay, let's put something on.
When it's time to start your business, it's time for Shopify. Designed with easy to customize themes, we sell everywhere people shop and never miss a sale with the world's best converting checkout. See why millions of businesses sell with Shopify. Start your free trial today.
If your e-commerce store isn't hitting 100K months, you're probably running the outdated classic e-com model. It looks something like this. Run Facebook ads, get ignored, launch new creatives, and then you still have unprofitable ads.
Listen, base is loaded bottom of the night today. We're going back to back. And you guys have to understand, I made a video yesterday about crossing that finish line. I just dropped a video about Kyron Lacey. And like I said, a lot of content that I drop, you never know who can hit the forward button. You never know who could share the content. And that's the beauty of the internet. Things could go viral. And I made that video yesterday, and after I made the video, somebody told me about the Kyron Lacey situation. But if I had dropped that video 2 months ago, and he watched that video about making it to the finish line, and if he decided to listen to Mr. Keep It Simple Reloaded, listen, he would not have been in this position. It's all about the mission. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter until you complete the mission. Kyron Lacey, in his life, the NFL was his mission. Unalive somebody before the NFL draft. He didn't make it to the finish line. And the fact, I don't believe he's ever going to make it to the NFL, because this is very serious. You cannot just ride around down south and unalive people. And in the Matrix, because a lot of people don't think outside the box, but you can't just ride around down south and unalive ex-veterans for the Marines that are Caucasian. You can't do that. So when it's all said and done, I want to give you guys this motivation that stay focused before you end up homeless, because it's going to have to do jail time. He's not going to be able to walk free from this. I understand a lot of NFL teams, what they do is when situations like this happen in the NFL, like with Henry Ruggs, they give people a slap on the wrist, but he's not in the NFL yet. They didn't cut the check, so he's going to jail. And somebody left a comment, and the thing is, I try not to pay attention to comments, but I block this person. Because I said, if you're melanated and you're free, I said, you're successful. They said, Mr. Keep It Simple, you cannot keep using that narrative. Oh, really? Oh, really? I cannot use that narrative? Well, let me tell you something. I can use that narrative, because at the end of the day, you guys have to understand it's by design. If you can't get your football with one hand, if you can't dunk on a whole basketball AAU team, 9 out of 10, they want us locked up. So I'm going to say it one more time. If you melanated and you free and you're not in jail, you're successful. Kyron Lacey was free. When he turns himself in, when they catch up to him, now he's homeless. See, the content that I drop is so simple, but it's so powerful. Stay focused before you end up homeless. When you go to prison, that's not your home. You become...
How's everybody doing?
That's the state home. You're going inside their home.
Unfortunately, I cannot see
You're going inside
who's
their...
on.
I can't even say government, but you're going inside their private prison housing. You're going inside their home. That's not your home. So for everybody out there that's having a bad day, for everybody out there, your engine light is on, for everybody out there, you blew your transmission, for everybody out there, you don't have a car, for everybody out there, you catching a bus to work at Wendy's, to everybody out there sleeping in your car, to everybody out there that got to use the shower for Planet Fitness, guess what? At least you're free. At least you're free, and at least you're not locked up. You don't have a CEO telling you when to eat, when to shower. You don't got to use a bathroom in front of another man. You're free. Even in your mama's basement, you're free. Even in your mama's attic, you're free. They said, Mr. Keep It Simple, you're going back to the basics. Sometimes we got to go back to the basics. You guys have to understand. Everything counts. Everything that you do counts. If you feel you're going to crash out, just stay in the house. But don't go outside with feelings of, because when it comes to humans, and when it comes to human beings, which is us, we have feelings. And nobody knows Kyron Lacey. Nobody knows what he was going through. Nobody knows his childhood. Nobody knows his family life. So maybe he felt like crashing out. But let me tell you something. If you feel like that, or you get that false emotion, because it's a false emotion, why would you want to just go to prison? Why would you just want to go to prison? Let me tell you guys something. As a man, I answer to God. That is it. I answer to the Lord. That is it. You guys have to understand. No CEO is going to tell me, Mr. Keep It Simple, you can eat curry chicken now. You're not even getting curry chicken in prison. But no CEO is going to tell me, Mr. Keep It Simple, you can now go and get some oxtail. No CEO is going to tell me, Mr. Keep It Simple, you can now take a shower. But through hip-hop music, and you can tell he was heavily influenced by hip-hop music, making gun gestures on the football field, but hip-hop music, they make it seem cool to go to prison. They make it seem cool. Free Kodak, free Dirk, free all the others, free the brothers, follow the wordplay, free Dirk, free Kodak, free the others, free the brothers. You guys have to understand, no, stay focused on the mission. As a man, you need to know where you're going. And Kyron Lacy, he had, well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to go to the NFL. Because his action says otherwise. We don't know him personally. But one thing that I could say, the majority of people thought, even GM owners, he wanted to go to the NFL. But guess what? He is going to prison. You guys have to understand, every day counts. Sometimes you need some rest. Sometimes you need to lay down. Sometimes you need to eat some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Sometimes you need to map it out. Sometimes you need to track it out. But guess what? At the end of the day, you guys cannot afford to throw everything away due to an emotion. When you drive,
have you been searching for a way to earn more income, or did you know you could generate 10 grand a month and more by simply teaching other people what you already know with an online course? This is Kerry Eagler, and he's generated 7 figures teaching other people e-commerce. This is Adam Parker, and he makes 15k a month with his health coaching program. This is Edward Taylor, and he generates multiple 6 figures a year by teaching visual effects artists worldwide how to improve. This is Paul Martin. He just generated 30 grand in 3 weeks by pre-selling a course to magicians that he hadn't even created yet. And this is Rachel Maxwell. She's making £82,000 a year by teaching animal owners how to care for their pets with natural herbs. No, really. If she can do it, anyone can. She just moved her family from the UK to their dream life in Costa Rica. And what do all these people have in common? Well, they decided to turn their expertise into an online course and sell it to a global audience practically overnight. And from experience, it's the fastest way to generate a lot of revenue without having to do any in-person training, one-on-one coaching, consulting, done for your agency services, any of that time-consuming stuff. It's much more efficient and fun, and the easiest way to teach people worldwide is by simply creating a digital clone of yourself, recording what you already know, and then selling that clone as an on-demand course. And having worked with over 1,100 clients personally, I know the exact repeatable process that can take you from 0 to 7 figures in almost any niche. And if you're wondering what you could be teaching, I've got clients in niches
How's everyone doing?
drumming to yoga, landscape gardening to real estate, anxiety coaching to maths teachers, and literally anything.
Can't see
in
who's
between.
here.
it doesn't matter how you feel. Once you go over 80 miles, you are pretty much saying, I don't love my life. I'm 39 and I drive slow. I drive like somebody's grandfather, but I'm cool. I'm just to keep it simple. Listen, I'm a YouTuber. I'm cool. I'm good. I don't have to please you. When I drive, I do 40 miles an hour. If I want to stunt, if I want to flex, to me, 50 miles an hour, that's a flex. All you gotta do is hit the engine one time. You hit the engine one time, good. It's gonna wind. It's going, boom. Release at 50. I stunt at 50 miles an hour. And I do that with no cars around. And that's once in a while. Usually I drive 40 miles an hour. Everybody passes me. People with road rage, they come, they drive up on the side of me, they look at me, they're just trying to say stuff. I just keep my head straight. I don't got time. Stay focused if I end up homeless. And we done made a lot of videos about road rage and people losing their life off of road rage. You guys have to understand. If you love life, you cannot throw it away. As human beings, we can throw away our lives easily. Easily. And I just want to say, I made that video yesterday, and a lot of people say, I want to thank you. But seriously, you guys have to cross that finish line. I'll never forget, and I'm not going back in the past, but when I was in high school, I lost a race by photo finish. I lost a race by 1/10 of a second. At the end of the day, I even tried to jump. I did everything that I could do to win. But guess what? I lost by photo finish. But guess what? It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And you got to cross that finish line. If you ain't crossed the finish line, listen, it doesn't matter if your bank account is negative. If you didn't cross the finish line, it doesn't matter. If you don't have money, if you didn't cross the finish line, it doesn't matter. If things are looking dark, it doesn't matter. Because you did not cross the finish line. The only thing that matters is that finish line. The only thing that matters is you finishing. You can get distracted. People can play psychological mind games with you, and guess what? If you crash out before the finish line, they won, you lost. And you guys gotta understand. In the matrix, the agents, they can go through anybody. So you getting groceries, they can go through the lady at the grocery store at the self-checkout. You need help. She acting like she don't hear you. Wow. Next thing you know, you in jail over a self-checkout problem. No turning back on the mission. 2024, we settled the score. 2025, it's time to come alive, and it's time to ride, and it's time to do the speed limit. Let it breathe.
Juggling multiple client sites? Supercharge your productivity with AI made for agencies. Instantly create unique and compelling content. Improve existing copy. And shorten or lengthen text to fit the space. But that's just the beginning. Generate new site sections, including relevant copy, images, and suggested section layouts. Simply scan the website for missing SEO metadata. With just one click, easily add meta titles, description, and more to all site pages. Entire sites optimized in seconds. You can even add alt text to all of a site's images in one place. Launch sites in no time and deliver better client results with the power of AI. Build faster, better, and smarter with Duda.
So you think you know Wix? Do you really? First up, we've got shape video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or you can create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it as a shape mask. Nice. Next up, we'll keep it moving with the hover box. You can use it to animate any element and create these really eye-catching interactions. And what I love is that the level of control.
Need my electric eraser. Oh yes. Great. frick with these faces. This is why they're so small. Okay. The beard is here. There you go. Then I can fix this part. Yeah, more detail, that would be good. Alright. We'll manage to get out of that sticky situation. Okay, we're gonna have to come here. Then he's gonna have to go out here. And of course, we'll fix this later. And of course here and here. All right. All right. That's one person. It's fine. Okay.
Create content for people and search engines with SEMrush SEO Writing Assistant. Get your copy SEO ready. Strike the right tone. Ensure unique plagiarism-free text. And it's a perfect tag. Get SEMrush to create content that ranks.
Okay.
Are you tired of your YouTube channel not getting the attention it deserves? Building a YouTube channel can be a very lucrative and successful way to make new fans or sell your product or service. But without the proper YouTube promotion, your channel might just get likes from your mom. Thanks, Mom. And buying views, using bots to grow views or subscriber counts is so 2020.
Listen, this is loaded, bottom of the night. I'm not gonna play with this video. Moment of silence for the 70-year-old man, ex-Marine who's no longer here anymore. And this is a 2-for-1 special. This is just a mixtape. Also, the victim of Henry Ruggs, the lady who also lost a dog in a crash who is no longer here anymore. Moment of silence for her as well. You get a 2-for-1 video because I feel like that's how we learn. The best way to learn, yes, experience is the best teacher, but sometimes certain categories, certain topics you don't want to learn, you want to learn from others. And Henry Ruggs, not to jump the gun, but later on in this video we will talk about him, but he was playing for the Los Angeles Raiders. He made it to the NFL. Unlike Kyron Lacey, he actually made it to the NFL. And one night he decided to drink. I don't know why. He could have hired a chauffeur. Listen, you got chauffeur services all in every city. In every city. I'm not playing this video. If you want to feel like a boss, if you want to kick back in the main back, if you want to kick back in the 7 Series, if you want to throw your feet up, if you want to sip champagne, listen, every city has a chauffeur service where you could actually have somebody pick you up and drive. So as far as Henry Ruggs doing what he did, he was actually in the NFL. I don't understand. But let's get back to Kyron Lacey. The thing about sports and being a world-class traveler, even though I don't watch sports, I understand it's an agenda. I understand it's to keep the people actually distracted. But when it comes to sports, I can see why it's a big deal. Because if you take sports out of certain cities, I'll be honest, a lot of cities are boring. If you're not making money, and if you're not living in the suburbs, if you're not living in the plush areas, a lot of places, a lot of states, a lot of cities are boring. And in a place like Louisiana, outside of LSU, Louisiana is boring. And when I mean boring, it's just not a lot of entertainment. I'm not saying the people are boring. I'm just saying, as far as entertainment-wise, they don't give the people a lot of things to do in Louisiana. So as far as LSU, I can understand why a lot of people are sports fanatics for LSU, because it gives them an opportunity to take their grandkids out. It gives them an opportunity to take their family out. It gives them an opportunity to tailgate. Because if you take LSU and you take a lot of this college sports and you take New Orleans Saints out of New Orleans, so what are the people really going to do? It's crazy how people will put the crime down to watch football. So even though I don't watch sports, I could see how it gives people an outlet to take away the fact that if football wasn't there or basketball wasn't there, if the Pelicans wasn't there, that there'll really be nothing to do. Now, the reason I never made a video on this young man before is because his coach said, because he was literally on the field trying to crash out, like he was Baby Kia or NBA Youngboy. So he was literally on the field pointing, making gestures of shooting a gun with his hands, and his coach defended him and said, we're working with him every day on his emotional control. So listen, nobody's perfect, but self-development is worth it. So, but when I saw that, I said, listen, this is a clown behavior. I don't care what anybody said. Rappers, a lot of people from the streets, a lot of rappers are clowns. A lot of rappers are clowns. They do all these crimes and tear up their own neighborhoods. But yet, they don't go to the suburbs, but they'll destroy their own neighborhood. So I gave this young man the benefit of the doubt because he said we're working with him every day on his emotional control. But in reality, these coaches don't care about these young kids. They see them as dollar signs for middle school. These guys are predators. They're literally watching these kids from middle school. They're watching them from high school. They're watching them from AAU. And that's all they care about. All they care about is bringing home a championship so they can keep their job. But do you think these coaches really care about melanated young athletes? Absolutely not. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt. But now, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt. And to the coach for LSU, what happened? I thought you said that you were working with him with the emotional control. You saw this man was a crash out, but no, they didn't care. They still put him on the field. They could have kicked him out of LSU. I don't care what anybody says. You, listen, this is the next clip.
If you're looking to scale to 100, 200, or even 300K plus months with your Shopify e-commerce brand, then
Man, this commercial drives me crazy.
I'm going to show you exactly.
Like, stop.
Listen, there are a lot of melanated men that can run and jump. But the game is all about politics. It's not about who can catch a football. It's about who they can control. So with that being said, you allow this young man to be on the field pointing gun gestures towards other opponents, other players. The head coach allowed this.
That's crazy.
So before we go to the 78-year-old ex-Marine that lost his life, you got to understand the LSU coach, the LSU University, the LSU faculty, everybody allowed this. I'm not playing with this video because it's not cool to be running around pointing gun gestures at people and you ain't doing anything. You probably softer than the marshmallow. You probably softer than the 7-Eleven Slurpee, but yet you're running around acting like you're going to blast something. You ain't going to blast something. And everybody who blasts something, they sitting in jail right now talking about, oh, I wish I had a job at McDonald's. Man, this life, it's real. And we learn from Henry Ruggs. You guys have to understand, 2-for-1 special in this video, I'm not playing. Kyron Lacey could have learned from Henry Ruggs. You guys have to understand this man literally was celebrating in a Corvette, a 2-door car, driving high speed in the NFL, literally. And they gave him a slap on the wrist. And I'm going to tell you why they gave him a slap on the wrist, because these melanated men are nothing more than dollar signs. So the Los Angeles Raiders, they say, listen, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, I don't watch sports. But you guys have to understand, they pretty much bailed him out, gave him a limit, they gave him a small amount of time, a slap on the wrist, because they got to recoup that money that they gave him. If you're new to this channel, I got a song called Everything Gotta Be Recouped. Everything gotta be recouped. You guys have to understand, look at this lady. She lost her life and a dog. He took out a Caucasian lady and a Caucasian dog. Crazy. And they only gave this man a couple of years. This man is probably going to be back in the NFL playing like nothing happened.
That's crazy, man.
You guys have to understand, welcome to America. AKA, yeah, capitalism is good. Yeah, if you want to get up, take a shower, earn some money. But this is the downside of capitalism. They allow people to run with cars, heavy machines, take people's lives, take people's dogs, and only give them 2 to 3 years. You guys have to understand, he took out this lady and her dog. As long as I'm a content creator, I will never forget this lady and her dog. Anytime any sport player, NFL, NBA, NHL, it doesn't matter. I'm bringing up this lady because she didn't deserve this and her dog didn't deserve this. Let me tell you guys something. And look at the aftermath of Henry Ruggs. Listen, Kyron Lacey had to know about Henry Ruggs. They're in the same profession. We have to learn from others. Listen, sometimes learning from others is the best way to learn. We wish it had never happened for everybody to play sports. And for everybody that want to have a night in the town, you can end up like Henry Ruggs. And now you can end up like Kyron Lacey. Look at the Corvette. My man was in a Corvette speeding. But he has chauffeur money. Make it make sense. Now, this is Kyron Lacey, and you can tell us the South. If you're from the South, you know, you know. If you're in Phoenix, you're not going to see too many Dollar Generals that look like this. But you can tell you're in the South when you see some Dollar Generals. You guys have to understand, he couldn't crash out on the field by pointing gun justice at others. So he literally hopped behind the wheel. They said of a Dodge. Now, I don't know which Dodge it was, but we're going to talk about all these cars. Listen, you get a 3-for-1 special in this video. We're going to talk about Trackhawks. We're going to talk about TRXs. We're going to talk about Hellcats. We're going to talk about all of that. And this is a man right here, 78 years old. Listen, you know how, listen, it's a blessing to make it to 78. Not only that, it's another dog, another pattern. But it's a blessing to be 78, served in the Marines, and live down south. Listen, down south is the best place for retirement. They not messing with older people like that. If you down south and you're an older person and you're not going into the bar and you're not getting into a bar fight, literally, you could live your life until God calls your number and you could sleep peacefully down south. There is nothing like the South. And I'm going to say this again. There is nothing like the South. This man was 78. Come on. Still taking care of himself. Still got his teeth in his mouth.
Crazy.
Come on. Serve the country. And this is the thanks he gets because LSU empowered a crash out. This is what the industry is doing. They're empowering crash outs. It doesn't matter if it's Sean Combs. It doesn't matter if it's Kyron Lacey. They're literally empowering crash outs.
What if you could clone yourself and turn the knowledge that you already have into an online course and generate 10 grand a month and beyond? Well, check out some of my clients that have done exactly that. This is Kerry Eagler, and he's generated 7 big.
Now, as far as these cars, I believe in these cars. And I believe that you should be 40 years old and you should have an ID to show that you're 40 years old to drive these cars. Because these cars, depending on who is driving these cars, and if these cars get in the wrong hands, these cars now become weapons. You don't have to make a gun gesture. You can hop in a Hellcat, you can hop in a Trackhawk, you can hop in a TRX, and now it becomes a gun. I'm just going to be real. I'm happy to see young people get money, but I do believe that when you're young, it's just something in you. You just live. You just litty. You just got that la pump it up and deal. What? So I do believe that these cars should be made for senior citizens. I believe that you need to be 40 plus to drive a Hellcat because if you're responsible, these are great cars. I believe in a Trackhawk. When I mean I believe in it, I believe that it's not a bad car. I don't believe in it like, oh yeah, all praises to a track car. But I believe that it's a great car if handled maturely. If you're responsible, there is nothing wrong with the TRX. There is nothing wrong with the track car. There is nothing wrong with the Hellcat. There is nothing wrong with the Dodge Demon. You hit the engine, rev it up one time, make it whine, and then take your foot off the gas. But no, this is not the case. This man was passing people illegally. Now, before I finish this video, I just want to say that, see, sports players, NFL players, especially Division I college football players, what happens is they have a high level of entitlement to the point they don't even realize where they are at. If you are in Louisiana and you play for LSU, yes, they're going to treat you different than others. Racism doesn't exist. And I'm going to be the first one to say racism doesn't exist if you're a Division I football player for LSU. It doesn't exist. But you guys have to understand, outside of an LSU uniform, if you are in the South and you are hitting Caucasian people with cars, you're going down.
Man. Crazy.
And you guys have to understand, if you're in the South and you're doing illegal cross changes while driving, you're still going down. But this is a problem. It's a false illusion of power. And this is what they do to sports players. They make them feel that they're above the law. You're the big man on campus. You can do whatever. They're giving people NIL deals. So now these guys are driving cars they probably couldn't afford back in the early 90s. You guys have to understand, he needs to turn himself in. We're not going to play with this video. We just cannot have 78, let it breathe, 78-year-old veterans being unalive for purple pride. It can't happen. He needs to turn himself in. Do I think he's going to get a slap on the wrist? I don't think so, because Louisiana is a little different. And this is why it's important as melanated men. Let me tell you guys something. We got to move differently on the chessboard. Listen, we're all human beings, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the court system, you guys have to understand, yes, it's a little different, and we got to learn how to move. And I don't care what anybody says. If you're in Louisiana, you need to obey the law. This man literally needs to turn himself in. I don't care what anybody says, because a lot of you guys who are north, you're probably going to go to school down south. Once you go to the south, tread lightly. Tread lightly. If you think about committing a crime down south, think differently. Don't do it. They're going to throw the book to you. They're going to throw the whole book to you. They're going to throw the intro. They're going to throw the chapters. They're going to throw the whole book at you. You guys have to understand, when it's all said and done, be yourself. The problem with Cameron Lacey is he wanted to be a crash out. He wanted to be a thug. He wanted to be somebody that he's not. And this comes from the music. Listen to the music. Watch the music that you listen to. When it's all said and done, a lot of this crash out music, yes, it takes a hold on you. When you listen to Baby Kia and NBA Youngboy, and you listen to all these guys like Lil Durk and all this crazy, violent, gang-banging music, it doesn't matter if you play football, it still takes a hold on you. Watch the music that you listen to. Because when you driving and you listen to Baby Kia, and I never heard a Baby Kia song, but I heard one song, but that was the last song that I heard. And when you guys listen to NBA Youngboy, you guys have to understand, and you driving fast at top tier speed, you're planning to take somebody's life. This was by design. He meant to do that. And before I finish this video, I gotta drop a gem. Once you rev the engine over 80, not only are you gonna take somebody else's life, you're gonna take your own life. And you're probably thinking, but listen, keep it simple. Why get a track car if I can't rev it? You can go to the track. Get it? Take your track car to the track. Listen, keep it simple. Do you really keep it simple? Yes, I really keep it simple. And you're probably thinking, well, why get a Hellcat if I can't rev it? Let me tell you guys something. You get a Hellcat for status. It's higher than a regular Dodge. You get a TRX for status. For you, that plate that says TRX, that logo that says Hellcat, that logo that says Dodge Demon, that logo that says TRX, you get it for you. That's it. It's a status symbol. But that doesn't mean that you're supposed to rev the car in the back roads of Louisiana to the highest capacity. Absolutely not. The speed limit down south everywhere is 35. Listen, if you're going to pay for 200 miles an hour, you better take it to the track. But there's no way down south that you're allowed to push these cars full capacity. If you get it, just get it to stunt. I'm going to be honest. If you get it to flex. But don't get it to rev it up. Because once you start to drive these TRXs, these Challengers, and these Hellcats, and these Trackhawks to full capacity, they now become a weapon on the road. And if anything happens, yes, you can be charged for manslaughter. Let it breathe.
Here's just part one. And keep going. I can. For now, I'm gonna halt. Okay, folks, this is it. No, I'm not downloading anything. Okay, so now I want to bring more to the profile. Not sure, but
Only stupid people pay tax. The way I pay no tax, okay, if I wanted $1 million, and so I worked and I saved money,